So we're back. This is the sofa. I'm going to do the captions in English in the first part. So the second part, the captions will continue in English. But yeah, we're back in the sofa. We had to move to another sofa, but we're here. We didn't fit into this, as you said before. Anyway, so we've known each other forever. But I've always admired you from afar because, and I admire you even more now. So I told you the other day, read a post by your daughter, Naiana.
My beautiful daughter.
Your gorgeous daughter. And it was so beautiful because she's shown such admiration and such pride in what you represent. And I saw all the struggle and I thought I had her, but you, my darling, you, and look at you now, you. Tell us your story. What brought you here?
First, the day that you told me that you had read, I went back to the post, and of course I cried all over again. So thank you for reminding me to go back there. Sometimes it's just we are so critical of ourselves. So sometimes it's good, like to pause and then go read what somebody else said and say, oh my gosh, yeah, I guess I deserve this.
Superhero, yeah. You know, I went through a rough patch a while ago, and my husband, he created this jar. He put in the jar several messages and he rolled them, and he said, every time you feel sad, open it, and you will remember what you represent, who you are. And it was gorgeous things like, I love when you laugh out loud out of my jokes and things like that. And that's your little jar. Your daughter prepared an online jar for you. That is gorgeous. That is gorgeous.
It's make worthwhile all the struggles that we go. But that's why we are here, right? So life is supposed to be a struggle, so you can enjoy the good times and value. People who have very easy take it for granted, right? So and on the other hand, I told you the other day too, it's just like following actually your comments on other people's posts and your own posts. Like, you are such a kind person.
Thank you.
And for me, like, this is one of the main characteristics that I value. We never know what people are going through, so being kind, it changes people's lives, and I think we need a lot of that. So
we do. And by the way, we never mentioned it. We're in Buenos Aires. So
we're in Buenos Aires. Beautiful.
And we came for the Vamos Juntos conference, and you were saying what you were saying. Natalie Kelly, hopefully she will manage to get her, interview her too. But she had in her presentation, I don't know if you were there, but
yes,
this is the person's life, and this is how much you know about their life. So never, assume someone.
It's incredible. And I think that a lot of times, we are all, especially for people who live in big cities, right? Yeah. We are all on a mission to get somewhere, doing something, and we don't see people. And when you take 1 second to see a person, the difference that it makes, it's just like having more time. And I always do that, but that's gonna go be my mission. Walk in the street and see people.
We bought a company at some point, and this person who was selling, she decided to do consulting, and she did like a laboratory. She did exactly that. She went for a month. She went homeless, so she slept in the streets, and she said, "It's not the code. It's not the it's the invisibility. It's
you are stealing my thunder for the presentation tomorrow.
Oh my God.
One of these slides is that.
This is how much we collect.
Well, but I guess because we have similar backgrounds and more than that, like moving to other places. Today, actually, Natalie said something that I even took a note. It defined perfectly, like trying to learn another language when you are a grown-up is humiliating.
It's
so I love it. I love it. And I said, oh my God. That's because I used to say frustrated is very embarrassing. But no, it's humiliating. And then I think that marks your character and make you change. I did change in several ways. I was never snobbish, but I think that I became so much more humble.
It humbles you. That's true.
It does.
Yes, it does.
So when we have similar.
Do you know what? It's not only the fact that we're Brazilian, but I'm talking to you, and I think I can't cry because I'm emotional, and I'm like a crybaby. But tell me about your story. I didn't know this. You're a successful woman. You sold your business, and you're now running. So many things. I don't know what you're doing. You want to tell me, but you went to the U.S. and I was reading this from your daughter's post. I didn't know this. Tell me, I'm not saying it. Go ahead and tell me.
So, like, Brazilians know how difficult Brazil can be sometimes. and so I had a long life there. And there was I was an entrepreneur at some point. Ended up having total like 11 small businesses in Brazil. And had a lot of problems like with safety, security, and the economy going like that. So having to, as my ex-husband used to say, sell dinner to buy lunch. And so it's just, and you work, and it gets so hard. So it was an interesting point that my daughter, we had gone through so much in our lives and we lost all the money when he was beautiful, he was handsome, but he became President Collor and took all our money.
Oh my God, the crazy man, yes.
Yes, so we had gone through a lot. And when my daughter became like our first grade age, I wanted to put her in the best school possible, and I couldn't afford. And I couldn't believe I had 2 businesses at the time and had worked my ass off my whole life, have 1 daughter, and then cannot put her
through basic education.
Yeah. And I said, oh, no. So at that time, my sister-in-law lived in the U.S., and my mother-in-law that unfortunately passed, she was like a very wise person, visionary, and like a little witch. And then she kept saying, oh, if you go to the U.S., you're going to be a millionaire. The way that you work, you're going to be a millionaire. Go. And then we were robbed, and then we decided to go.
Okay.
So, and my sister-in-law, lovely person, I love her. She's a translator. And she told us, a Portuguese translator, and she said, oh, no, it's easy. You find a job. So we went. And then we literally,
wait a second. You went bravely. You didn't speak the language.
No. And I'm like a very correct person, so I don't cross like a yellow line.
Yes.
And then I said, no, we're not going to take anything because they cannot know we had tourist visas.
Right, okay.
We cannot know that we intended to stay there. So we had literally 3 luggages. My daughter is so fun. She never forgets that she wants to bring her little lamp. That was a cute lamp.
That's so cute.
And I didn't let her bring because I said, who gonna take a lamp?
If you're a tourist.
No. And then she always say, I really love that lamp.
But you learned to travel light since.
No, I got bad. I went to the U.S. to buy a lot of stuff. But then what ended up happening, it was not easy at all. As you can imagine, I could not even look for a job. I did not know how to speak the language. I went in Newark, in New Jersey, there are a lot of Portuguese people, and to see if I could get something. And it was not easy. And so then my sister-in-law felt really bad, and because she said that would be easy. And then she used to have like, I'm sorry to say that, but a lot of translators and interpreters hate to make invoices. So she had all this work, and she was not invoicing anybody. So numbers are all the same. And I said, oh, I can do the invoice for you then. Perfect. So I start doing invoice for her. And the struggles were so big, like, because one thing that I am 100% sure that I'm not good is at language. So now I tell everyone I'm semi-illiterate in both languages because I forget a lot of Portuguese and I still didn't learn English. So
that's true. Go ahead.
So
how did you turn it into this business?
So then what was so interesting is that we start going to ATA, like the power of associations. My sister-in-law was the founder of the Portuguese language division at the ATA, so knew a lot of people. We start going, and I start getting also work from other translators to do the proofreading, the last proofreading. There was no internet at that time, so the Portuguese of the people were rusted. So right. I just got from Brazil, and I did not know English, so it was perfect to proofread. So I started doing that, and then we went to the lawyer because to get the green card.
Immigration.
Oh yes. Yeah, no. My sister-in-law said you're gonna have to cut because of that.
It's okay. We don't cut.
My sister-in-law, she thought that like for a person to have a green card as a brother was like 6 to 9 months. And then
it was
10 years. It was 10 years. And I said, oh my gosh, what do we do now? Right? So
and you were on a tourist visa.
Tourist visa, okay. 6 months. And then I was like, oh my gosh, now what we do? And we could not go back because we had pyjama manufacturing and a restaurant.
Okay.
I closed the pyjama manufacturing. In the restaurant, we sold.
Okay.
And the person bankrupt the restaurant, never paid us.
Oh my God.
So we had no way to go back. So we went to the lawyer, and then because my sister-in-law said, well, maybe I can hire you then. Okay.
And you would have a work permit so you can stay legally. Yeah.
So we went to the lawyer, and the lawyer asked for all these documentations, and then he said to us, sorry, you don't make enough money to hire her. Because in the US, to get a visa, so the Department of Labor dictated what the salary is. Depends on the function.
Of course.
So, and then I said, now what? So I had two options. Either give up, which is something that I never did in my life, or grow the company. And that's what I decided to do.
Oh my God, this
grow the company.
You're joking me. And then you hired yourself?
And then at that point, I was not a partner yet. So grew the company in two months.
There was no company. You built the company. She was.
No, it was like Edna de Taranto doing business as translation plus.
Okay. But I mean, it was a home business.
Yes.
She wasn't even invoicing properly.
Exactly. And then, but she was like the best at what she did. So we became like the largest Brazilian Portuguese translators in the US. Really, really grew a lot. So in 2000 with the internet, and I said, oh, this is great. Like, it's a great opportunity. So I went back to school to do like international business.
Oh, wow.
And then I said, and because I continued to learn English, that's why I went back. So I did like all the ESL classes like 3 times, 4 times, and still did not learn.
Humbled over and over and over.
and then I did everything like that an entrepreneur does. Like start like hire a marketing company, hire telemarketing at that time.
With one major difference, you did it successfully. It's not any entrepreneur. You did it really well. Not only because of
because of the need.
No, because you found a need. You detected. You already had the experience, but I think you're very talented. You're very successful. So don't underestimate me.
I'm a very hard worker.
Yeah,
I really am. And sometimes way too much, which scares people a little bit sometimes. But I am, and it worked. So why I would not continue doing, right? So then that's what happened. Then we became partner in 2000,
Okay.
and then found the Translation Plus LLC, and then we worked together until 2006.
Okay.
And she's an extreme hard work person, but she loves to do translation. Mm-hmm. And then got to at that point where like you need like for the business, I was making her miserable because I kept like
pushing.
And she was not making me miserable, but I need a partner that also will do that. So we were not happy. So actually, one of the people that advised me to buy her out, which I did not want to do because we started together and it was hers first, was Renato Beninato.
Okay.
that always has opinion,
very
and a lot of times, most of the time, very good opinion. So, and the small business also did say same thing. I was trying to sell the company.
Okay.
And then it did not work much because the majority of the revenue was for the Portuguese. Right, so because we did other languages, but
she was doing a lot of it.
And at that point, not anymore, because like with the internet, we start outsourcing, and that's where our problems start. Because I said, I don't need you to be a translator, because in Brazil, it's 1/3 of the.
That's true, because her hourly cost was much higher than in Brazil, of course.
And then what we did, like she kept all the Portuguese, and then I start with only the other languages, and we still using her as for our Portuguese, and it worked very well.
And you grew like crazy.